Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a little look into r/AmITheA. So if you want to judge if people are big old gaping buttholes with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please, thank you. And of course, little disclaimer, any opinions that I give on the stories that we read today are just that. They are not facts, do not need to be taken as such. If you have a differing opinion, that's perfectly fine. Do feel free to leave it in the comments below. Just make sure you're keeping it respectful. There is no need to be mean to anyone you do not agree with. With that being said, let's get into it then, shall we? So this first one was posted by AITAH, and the title says, "Am I the butthole for putting a bedtime pause on the Wi-Fi because my girlfriend's 28-year-old brother has spent nearly a decade rotting in our house playing video games?" Probably not. I don't think that makes you the butthole at all. Oh my goodness. Around 8 years ago, my girlfriend's brother moved back into our house with his wife after leaving the Marines. After high school, he enlisted, spent a few years mostly doing support and base-related work, and then got out. His plan was to use his GI Bill, pursue a real education, and figure out a long-term career path while staying with us temporarily. We fully supported them. No rent, free housing, utilities, internet, food, and we constantly cooked meals for them. We also helped with job opportunities, resources, and encouragement. The problem is that temporary slowly becomes years. This is the problem with putting yourself out for family members. You can think you are doing the nicest thing, the perfectly right thing, but people very quickly get comfortable and they will very happily, sadly, take the absolute piss because they think, oh, it's my family member, they won't mind. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't matter if they mind or not, to be honest. It's just morally wrong to take advantage of people like that. He never committed to school, never held a serious job, and slowly spent almost all his time gaming. He stays up until sunrise, wakes up around 3 p.m, and avoids people whenever guests come over. Meanwhile, his wife worked full-time as a cashier, supporting both of them. Eventually, she cheated and left him. I mean, that's not right. She could have just left him. Didn't need the cheating, love. But I wouldn't have blamed her for leaving him at that point. Saying she no longer felt anything for someone who had lost all ambition and passion for life. Cheating is wrong, but I understood how resentment could build after years of carrying someone. Yeah, exactly. I get that. The cheating is bad, but I do get that. After the divorce, he admitted he wasted years of his life and promised he wanted to change. We supported him through that too. Then my girlfriend's parents moved back onto the property to emotionally support him as well. Oh my goodness. The house was originally bought by them years ago before being transferred into our name, so technically it's ours now, but there's still family attachment involved. It is starting to feel like there is a crowd forming and no one wants them there. Oh my goodness. That would stress me out so bad. Oh my life. Fast forward to now and nothing has changed. He's 28 and still spends nearly all day in his room gaming. I've brought the issue up to my girlfriend multiple times over the years. Almost every time she either gets angry at me for bringing it up or says that he's working on a study program or figuring things out. But those plans never actually happen. Her parents have also admitted that they're tired of talking to him because nothing changes. At this point, I honestly feel like I'm stuck in an echo chamber where everyone recognises the problem, but nobody wants to confront it anymore. Yeah, I think when it gets to that point, the only way you're going to get that person to change is if you literally kick them out. Force them to change, because they're not going to change on their own. And if they don't want to change, even after you've kicked them out, well, more fool them. That is on them. He's 28. He's a fully grown adult, you know? He needs to pull it together or he's gonna lose where he lives. Well, probably not actually, because I imagine that the girlfriend's parents will put their foot down and make sure he stays, but no one's really giving him any consequences for his actions other than his wife, who cheated and left. Again, cheating's bad. Leaving, totally understand that one. 2 weeks ago, I quietly set a Wi-Fi bedtime pause from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. since me and my girlfriend pay basically all the utilities, including the internet. Honestly, I thought it would affect nobody except him because everyone else sleeps like normal adults. My girlfriend got upset because I did it without telling her. She said she couldn't sleep knowing there was tension in the house because of the Wi-Fi pause. She also explained that growing up, her grandparents controlled things in the house in a way that made her feel like she had no freedom. So the Wi-Fi situation brought back memories. Well, take it up with your brother. I told her I understood that and agreed what her grandparents did was unfair. But I also told her that she isn't a child anymore, and neither is her brother. This isn't parents punishing teenagers. This is a 28-year-old grown man spending nearly a decade avoiding adulthood while everyone around him financially cushions the consequences. I finally told her something that came from years of frustration. Somehow everyone can sleep peacefully while watching her brother waste his life isolated in a bedroom gaming all night, but pausing the internet for 6 hours suddenly becomes the unbearable problem. She thinks I'm being cruel towards someone who may be depressed. I think everyone has spent years enabling self-destruction because nobody wants to be the bad guy. Yeah, and I get that. He could well be depressed. You know, depression does have a detrimental effect on the way you live your life, and it can have some people basically essentially putting their whole life on pause. But here's the thing. As much as I respect that he could have depression and what have you, it still doesn't give him the right to be taking advantage of everybody else in his household. You know, I completely understand depression and how debilitating it can be. But considering he clearly knows that this is a problem, because it does sound like it has been brought up, not effectively at all, but just brought up, he needs to be proactive with doing something about that as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely understandable, but it is not an excuse to take advantage of everybody else, especially when you're an adult. Am I the butthole? No, I don't think so. It doesn't seem like anyone else is trying to do anything, and I can see that this is going to end up with the OP and the girlfriend splitting up. It's going to drive a massive wedge between them and create a lot of tension with his girlfriend's family, and if it doesn't get nipped in the bud sooner or later, that's where it's going to go. It's going to end in a breakup. So, an update. Hi everyone. Thank you for all the comments. I honestly never expected this post to blow up the way it did. I've been trying to read through as many comments as possible and really reflect on the situation instead of reacting emotionally. A lot of people had questions regarding the ownership of the house, and I do admit I wasn't very clear about the certain details. Part of that was intentional because I wanted to maintain some anonymity for myself and the people involved in case the post gained too much attention, which it obviously did. I hope you guys can understand that. I'd say that's fair enough. After reading through many of your perspectives, I sat down with my girlfriend last night and we had a very serious conversation about the future and expectations moving forward. I explained to her that I cannot continue living in a situation where one person refuses to take accountability while everyone else is expected to carry the burden. For clarification, the issue is mainly regarding her brother. A lot of the frustration comes from the fact that there has been little to no initiative from him, despite everyone around him trying to help. I understand people go through difficult periods in life, and I truly tried to be patient and supportive, but at some point, effort has to come from the individual too. I told my girlfriend that if nothing changes, then we will need to separate living arrangements and I will move out. As difficult as that conversation was, I felt it was necessary because this situation cannot continue indefinitely without structure, accountability, and actual effort being made. The plan moving forward is to establish real deadlines and measurable steps for her brother to start addressing his situation, instead of continuing to avoid it. As many commenters pointed out, VA resources will be the first thing we push him towards pursuing immediately. After that, we discussed career workshops, employment assistant programs, and other resources that could help him get back on his feet and build some long-time stability. I also made it clear that I am willing to support someone who is actively trying to improve their situation, but I cannot continue enabling someone who refuses to help themselves. I cared deeply about my girlfriend and her family, which is why I stepped up and stayed patient for as long as I did, but I've also realised I need to protect my own future, finances, and mental well-being too. For now, I'm focusing less on promises and more on actions. I genuinely appreciate everyone who offered advice, criticism, concern, and even tough truths. A lot of your comments gave me perspectives I honestly had not fully considered before. Yeah, that's it. Because if the brother is just showing willingness to try, it's not all going to happen overnight. The brother's not immediately going to have a good job, be able to pay his way in the household, pay his car and all of that lot in overnight, click of a fingers. That's not going to happen. But I think a good start for him would be like a therapist, like go to see a therapist, because obviously there's something going on to want to be locking himself away and playing games all night, and I imagine sleeping all day if he's playing games all night. So there's obviously something going on. So a therapist would be a good first port of call. And if he does that, like, to me, that would be like, you're making an effort. You're trying to get better with things. And then you'd have to give a timeline on it for how long it'd be then till the next step. Because, yeah, these things aren't going to fix themselves in a day. It's showing good intent that makes the big difference, isn't it, with that, I think. Okay then, so let's have a look at what the comments say, shall we? So Carrie says, I have a question for your girlfriend. Kind of close to yours, but could have been asked before the Wi-Fi curfew. Why is she able to sleep when there is tension coming from you, but she draws the line at tension from her brother? Exactly. She is showing you where her priorities are, and sadly you don't make the list. And she isn't doing him any favours either. Making it comfortable for him to do nothing is not helping. And if it really is a mental health issue, then he needs professional help, not a house full of enablers. So then Sultry Sailor 99999 says, I've noted this really happens all the time. Some people in relationships prioritise everything aside from their partner, then try and act the victim when said partner becomes extremely upset. I don't know if it's just an extremely predictable turn of events. Yeah, I mean, it does happen a lot, especially when you're reading through these stories on Reddit. You see it a lot. Like, oh my goodness, a hell of a lot. But yeah, I just think that is such a good point. Like, why is she okay with the OP being like tense and there being tension between them because of the stuff? But then when it's her brother, it's like, oh, I can't sleep because of the tension. They are pandering to him. It's because he's kicked off, because the internet's been turned off. And that's why obviously all of a sudden it's a problem. So I wonder if there is a bit of a history of the brother being a bit of a golden child and getting away with bloody murder, basically, and everybody else kind of just going, no, it's fine, and allowing it. It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Okay then, so next post, posted by Positive Run 3207. Am I the butthole for waking up the whole family downstairs at 2 a.m. because they thought that they could park and block my driveway overnight? Probably not. I live in a duplex in NYC. We rent the downstairs, we're chill and don't mind their friends throwing parties or staying over as long as they respect the property and keep the noise down at night. But a couple of months ago, one of their guys blocked the driveway around 7 p.m. I asked him nicely to move it and not do it again, but he clearly didn't care. Fast forward to a few days ago, I get dropped off at 2 a.m. and see his car completely blocking my driveway again, even going over a bit onto the neighbour's side. I stood outside for 5 minutes debating whether to just have him ticketed and towed or wake up the whole house. I chose option 2 and blasted the doorbell for 10 seconds. This part because they do have a kid who goes to school the next day. They answered and I told her the car was blocking me and I needed to leave. It took the guy 5 minutes to come out and he was visibly pissed. He was like, you really have to wake everyone up for that? And I told him that he's blocking me in and I need to leave and do it again and I'll have it towed. He said I'll have to go pay for it and I told him to fucking watch me. He kept cursing at me, so I said back and repeated, that's why you're listening and moving your car, right? Yeah, keep it moving, buddy. The guy's 40 plus and I'm in college. He moved it and I just walked back upstairs and watched the security cams. I knew he was pissed when he looked at the driveway and both cars were still there. Am I the butthole? Edited to add more details. No, definitely not. It's so rude to just park across someone's driveway. I'm pretty sure in the UK, you're not actually allowed to block somebody's driveway anyway. But even if it's not like against the law or anything, it's so bloody rude. And just like, why would you do it? Why? Well, I can tell why. It would be entitlement, wouldn't it? My goodness. My kids' school had to send out multiple emails over the years, basically saying, like, parents, stop parking your cars along the driveways of people who were, like, living in the surrounding area, because people would be, like, just getting out their cars and leaving their cars, fully blocking other people's driveways, and it's insane. Like, it's so entitled to me, but, yeah, crazy. So then down in the comments, only breadfruit 6108 says, it's illegal to park across a driveway here. How else would you get them to move? It's lucky it was them. I'd be pissed being woken up, but it would be worse waking and finding my car gone. Exactly. Not the butthole. And then 3 Blind Mice 1 says, I'm from Houston. I'd be worried about my car getting towed, leaving my car in a place like that for half an hour. And we don't even have parking issues compared to a lot of places. Tow truck drivers really love to see illegal parking. Just to clarify, this was a driveway leading to a small but commonly shared parking lot. Pretty sure you could have gotten him towed, no questions asked. You did him a favour if you ask me. Exactly, he should have been thankful, and then to be like, oh, basically if you tow my car you'll be paying for it. No mate. Because if you wait for me to pay for it, you're going to be waiting for a long time to get your car back. Let me tell you that for free. So their next post, posted by Captain Fascination. Am I the butthole for telling my mother-in-law she couldn't visit my wife in the hospital the same day our child was born? Oh dear. It's one of these. My wife and I discussed it in the days leading up to the birth of our son, and we agreed that we did not want any visitors the same day he was born. My mother-in-law was notified that my wife was going to require a C-section, and she told me to tell her that when she was able to come up and visit, and I told her I would do so. I think it's so fair when people say, I don't want people and visitors the day the kid's born, because yeah, you're usually absolutely knackered, in a lot of pain, and not in the mood to see anyone. I texted our group chat for my wife's side of the family, updating them that the procedure went well and that mama and baby were doing perfect. She replied and said, I know you didn't tell me to come, but we are in the waiting room. Oh my god. What? We're so excited and want to be here for you two. Nah, that is a complete overstep of the boundaries, because they literally said, we will tell you when we're ready for you to come. What part of that made you think that it was okay to just turn up and sit in the waiting room? That's just weird behaviour. I texted her back saying that we appreciate her coming up, but that they should go home and that we would see them tomorrow. My father-in-law called me shortly after and insulted me in every way imaginable, and my mother-in-law sent me a long text saying how disrespectful it was of me to not allow them to visit their daughter. That's literally your daughter's choice, love. They don't want you there. I quickly reminded them that today was not about them, and that it was about my wife, the baby, and I. We haven't spoken since. Am I the butthole? No. And they haven't spoken since. How long ago was it between, do they say? No, it doesn't say. So we don't really know how long it is that they've not spoken since then, but that's just so weird. So down in the comments, Jake Seymour says, I know you didn't tell me to come. Yes. And there's a very good reason for that. And then the OP just replies saying, exactly. No, if someone doesn't tell you to come, there is a very good reason. And it's usually because you're probably going to be a huge pain in the ass. And that's why they don't want you to come. Oh my goodness, that would infuriate me. Just like respect people's wishes when it comes to their plans and what have you. Like, just, yeah, craziness. Okay then, so last post for the day, Andrew Q. What is wrong with me? Would I be the butthole for repeatedly telling someone that she eats babies? What? Okay. When my partner, 58M, and I, 41M, ordered veal, a friend, 69F, of his said that she wouldn't be having the veal because she doesn't eat babies. After the three of us got our meals, she again announced that she doesn't eat veal or lamb because she doesn't eat babies, and went on to enjoy her chicken. I liked the veal, but her remark was untimely to say the least. Yeah, we have a rule in my house: you don't make rude comments about what other people are eating. You just keep it shut. Like, it's none of your business. Like, don't make rude comments. Don't look at something if you don't like the look of it and go, you know, you're not eating it. Shut up. She visited a few months later, and for some reason, I can't remember, she announced her stance again, even though we weren't having lamb or veal. Later, when my partner said she would be visiting again, I decided to do some research. I discovered chickens are killed younger than lambs and calves for meat, both in absolute terms and as proportion of their natural lifespan. Lo and behold, at an afternoon gathering with various other people, a wedding menu was discussed, and she proclaimed, "I don't eat babies," yet again. I said, "But you eat chicken." "So?" "They're only around 6 weeks old when they're slaughtered for meat." "No, they're not, they're fully grown." "That's because of how they are bred and fed." "I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it. Shut up." I shut up so as not to cause more of a scene. Months go by and she visits again. I swear her "I don't eat babies" stance must be core to her identity, because I kid you not, she announces it again. I'm seething, but I don't say anything. I can't seem to let this go. She says it in a way that to me comes across as so morally superior, which I could possibly tolerate if I believed it were true. Here's what I want to do, and would I be the butthole for doing it? Next time she visits, I want to say, with authority, you either stop eating chicken, or you stop saying "I don't eat babies." If you continue to do both, you're a liar. To be honest, I would just not let this person visit. They just seem insufferable. Like the OP says, they seem like someone who wants to act morally superior, and it's like, okay, but if you are eating meat in any form, but then saying you can't do that one because that's like wrong and what have you, but you can do that one, then that doesn't make any sense, you know? It's either you eat meat or you don't. And to be honest, even still, I don't think people announcing their food preferences to try and act morally superior to people full stop is okay. It's like, you can eat how you eat and have your opinions on things without having to like try and bully other people with it, try and make other people feel bad about themselves with it, you know? So down in the comments, Own Entrance 2256 says, "Why do you let this insufferable person keep visiting?" That's what I'm saying. Hefty Minimum 2852 says, "I can't believe these people are so fucking old acting like this." And then Bow Ball says, "Because no one ate them when they were babies." Okay then, so I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, maybe even hype it if you're able to do that, if you have the little button thing, that would be cool. Then that'll be your initiation into the Coven of Void. Welcome! Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Hopefully I've recorded this well and you know, my brain hasn't had little farts in between when I've been reading, because my goodness, I've started, well, I've not started a new medication. I've had a change to one of my medications, like a tweaking, and I'm on a stronger amount of it now, and oh my life. My brain is like someone's had the lid off and shit in it. I'm telling you now. I feel so dense at the moment. Like, I had to reread bits in this, like, so many times. But you know what? We move anyway. Oh, dear. But yeah, hope you have a good day, whatever it is you're doing. Bye!